Hi, this is Archie from Brown Bear Herbs. Today I'm going to talk to you about our smoking blend called Astral In Body. I think this is my current favorite blend. My previous one was True to You, and then Gentle and Protective. Now I'm totally on Astral. And I just had one, and I was thinking about the herbs, and I got really inspired to tell you about that. So it is made with mullein, blue vervain, mugwort, and yarrow. Those all have magical properties. I originally created the blend as a social smoke for the holidays or for situations where you are hanging out with people that are maybe more normal than you. like if you go back to a high school event or have a work party to go to, something like that, if you smoked one of these with them, you guys might end up discussing stuff like alien ancestry and fairies and stuff like that. So that's what we discovered when we did testing on it. We also tested it during a supermoon, and we found that the herbal energy helped mellow out that supermoon, which was a pretty intense one, a lot. So I use it both for calming down lunar energy, which could be a solo activity or with friends, and also for making social interactions more interesting, shall we say. Oh, I have a warning on the box that says no texting or driving while smoking these. So I would just use that as a caution, especially the first time that you smoke them, because they can make you pretty out there in terms of your ideas. But so you might not think that ideas are as cool once you're not with that plant medicine combo. And also, mugwort in particular varies a lot in its strength depending on the lunar phase. So the brighter the moon gets, the stronger mugwort's effects are. So even if you were to say smoke it during a new moon and you found that it didn't really make you feel that wacky, and then you smoked it 2 weeks later at the full moon, you might have a different experience. So I would just say, consider this a leisure smoke, something to enjoy solo or with friends, but not something to try to do a lot of functioning when you smoke it. And it is probably that's the only one of my smokes that I feel that way about, where it's kind of can be psychoactive, I guess. It's mild, so you might not notice if you're used to stronger substances, but if you're a sensitive person, you might notice a lot. So I'll tell you about each of the herbs and how I think they're working. Blue vervain was used magically, and I think all the herbs have protective properties that are in this, which is kind of cool. A lot of times people are feeling, when they smoke it, that really connected to their energy body, but not in an out there way, in like an around their body type of way. So I consider it like grounding, but you're in touch with your energy body. So some people say that's kind of gives them like a CBD type feeling. I don't know if you'll feel that way, but it's not like CBD type feeling. I think what they're saying is more of a body high, instead of it doesn't have the properties of like pain relief and stuff like that and anti-anxiety. But yeah, so all the herbs are protective. Blue vervain, I use it medicinally for clients who have high strung personalities. And that can vary quite a bit, but let's say at minimum they tend to be list writers, really driven personalities, and they may have a really hard time kind of kicking back. So like might have rigid rules for how they live their life, like no drugs or alcohol, strict bedtime, stuff like that. So without making you like a wild person, medicinally, I use blue vervain to help relax those rules. And a lot of times I'll hear back from patients that or clients that they did kick back a little bit, which in their world is usually not that wild, but just loosening up the reins on themselves a little bit. So I think that's definitely coming through in the smoke, where they are the herb. It's magically it's protective, but it also helps you connect more psychically and channel more, but definitely keeping away evil, which is interesting. I also am just I put it in a nightmare pillow that I just made, and I felt like it was helpful in that way. Like almost had like a return to sender vibe, where it is like not just protecting you, but bouncing that off of you. So I thought that was fun to tune into. And so in the cigarette, I feel like it is helping, one of the parts of the blend that's helping you channel those different kind of thinking, but in a protected way, and helping you just kick back a little bit and have some fun. So that's the blue vervain. And then mugwort, as I said before, it gets stronger as the moon gets brighter. And usually when I take mugwort, I don't take it during the full moon because it can make you so, your dreams so vivid that you might feel like you're not sleeping. But it seems in this blend, I personally don't have that problem. I feel like it's grounding because of I believe the other herbs involved are helpful to balance that, whatever's going on with that out. Mugwort is it can give you a very ethereal feeling to your body. So this is probably helping have much more of a sense of like the energy of your body, around your body, your subtle body, I guess, that's like extends beyond your physical body. But because of the other herbs, it's like staying grounded instead of like going off into space, which I think can be overwhelming. I even know people that like just sitting around mugwort or just having it in the room, they can feel so spacey that they don't like it. But it can be important medicine for hormones and for women who've had trauma, which can include abortion trauma, any trauma to the uterus at all. So it could be a difficult delivery too. Or people that have had kind of been beaten down by life, like women who have been homeless or just dealt with a lot of abuse. Mugwort's a great herb though. It's used for a lot of things, but in particular, women's health and hormonal balance. And blue vervain is also used for hormonal balance. Because this cigarette is so energetically stimulating and gives such a different experience, I would never recommend it to somebody to take on a daily basis to balance their hormones. However, those herbs, if you're already needing those herbs, this could be a fun additional way to take them, I would say. And then the last, aside from mullein, the last one is yarrow. I love yarrow, and it is also protective. Yarrow is known to heal holes in your energetic field, and that can happen because of injuries, and it could even be like past life injuries, like that you come into this world with this time around. So it's very protective because it's restoring your energetic field. I like it as a flower essence. I love it as a tea. Medicinally, I use it for blood disorders. So excess, any bruising or bleeding. So that could be an acute situation where you just really bumped yourself. I like it. I like it with yarrow and angelica together for that, for bruises. But if you get a blood clot, yarrow is my go-to for that, and I've had a lot of clients that responded very quickly to yarrow. So it has effects on the blood, but it's normalizing. So it's not a blood thinner. It's not a blood coagulator. It is a blood normalizer. So I consider it also very beneficial for women. It's in my Blood and Boundaries herbal bath, as yarrow is a good maintenance herb for anyone who's a menstruator. So could be a woman or not, but people who menstruate, yarrow is a great one to take here and there for routine, kind of like getting a oil change or something. So just because if you're bleeding, you might have get blood stagnating here or there, or bleeding too much, and that can help normalize that. But on a more magical level, along with the protection, it was made into beer, historically made into beer and drank at weddings, and it made people like go wild, apparently. So I think this might be the herb responsible for it not being safe to text or drive when you take it in this cigarette. That's my hunch. And I remember doing some experiments in the very beginning where we were trying to figure out which of the herbs was doing that. And I think I smoked that yarrow with a friend of mine, and we were giggling wildly for quite a while that evening. So that might be fun to try on its own with caution. So together, I'll just describe like our experience of testing it out. I felt more connected to the kind of like aliens, but not like a little green men scary kind of way, but like more like benevolent, helpful influences. And fairy energy, the moon magic out there, and definitely coming up with some kooky ideas and laughing, but feeling like grounded, even though the lunar energy was like so like tense and wiry. So I just think that this blend is perfectly magical. And if you haven't tried it yet, I would recommend getting some and have it on hand to try. Maybe you're not socializing very much right now during the pandemic, but have it on hand to try for the lunar energy, and just see like during the full moon or during times when, like for example, if the moon is in the opposite sign as your natal moon, that can be a more stressful time for most people. So if you have a moon in Pisces and the moon goes into Virgo, you might feel a lot of stress at that time, and you could try smoking the Astral In Body at that time. And if you don't know what your natal moon sign is, you need to have your date, time, and location of birth. And my favorite resource for free astrological charts is astro.com. That you have to hunt a little bit on their site, but it's free. And they have some other fun resources on there too. Mullein is in there in all my blends to protect your lungs, but it also does have protective properties on an energetic level. So lots of protection so that you can have lots of fun channeling fairies and benign aliens and mellowing your moon madness, shall we say. So I hope you try it, and I hope you love it. If you do have trouble sleeping, I love to hear that kind of stuff, that kind of feedback, so I know like if people are having that with this blend, or that's just when they're consuming mugwort on its own, or in other blends. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe.